BingX, a trusted global crypto exchange. Trade spot, futures, or copy top traders easily. Sign up via the link or referral code to get 30 USDT instantly, plus up to 1,500 USDT in bonuses for verification, deposit, and trading.
Europe's borders are facing a crisis of trust, with a senior minister warning that a failure to establish order is undermining faith in politicians and the very concept of nation-states. Shabana Mahmood is set to voice this stark warning as she convenes a critical meeting of fellow interior ministers. The focus of this high-stakes summit, taking place in London, is to address the escalating challenge of irregular migration routes, particularly those traversing the Western Balkans. Mahmood will argue forcefully that only through robust international cooperation can the tide of illegal migration be effectively stemmed. The Home Secretary's pronouncements come at a pivotal moment, with figures indicating a significant surge in channel crossings. By 2025, the number of individuals crossing the English Channel has already surpassed 25,000, marking the fastest pace recorded since official data collection began. This alarming statistic underscores the urgency of the discussions at the London gathering. Mahmood is expected to convey a clear message to her counterparts from the Western Balkans and other European allies, emphasizing the public's fundamental expectation that governments should control who enters and who must leave their countries. Today, in this country, and I know in many if not all of yours, that is not the case, she will state, directly addressing the current predicament. She will then articulate the broader consequence, and the failure to bring order to our borders is eroding trust not just in us as political leaders, but in the credibility of the state itself. The minister is also anticipated to deliver a pointed critique of Nigel Farage and his Reform UK party, accusing them of advocating for isolationist policies. Mahmood will contend that their approach, which she characterizes as a desire to turn inwards, fails to acknowledge the interconnected nature of migration challenges and eschews the necessity of collaborative solutions. Illegal migration is a shared threat which requires a strong, joined-up international response, she will assert. Addressing those who advocate for inward-looking strategies, she will declare, to those who think the answer to the challenges that we face is to turn inwards, or back away from international cooperation, I say that in coming together as we are today we will make all of our borders and our countries stronger. The Western Balkans region, encompassing nations such as North Macedonia, Montenegro, Serbia, Albania, Bosnia and Herzegovina, and Kosovo, has emerged as a critical and increasingly influential transit corridor for illegal migration across the European continent. Official data from the Home Office highlights the region's growing significance as a hub for people smugglers and international drug trafficking operations. In 2024 alone, an estimated 22,000 individuals were reportedly smuggled by organized criminal gangs operating along these routes. The summit is expected to delve into strategies for dismantling these criminal networks, with a particular emphasis on forging new avenues of cooperation between the United Kingdom, various European nations, and border police forces operating within the Western Balkan region. Adding weight to these discussions, Graham Bigger, the Director General of the National Crime Agency, will be present to elaborate on ongoing efforts to disrupt the supply chains utilized by these gangs. Furthermore, a dedicated session is scheduled to address the critical issue of combating violence against women and girls, a grim consequence often associated with human trafficking and smuggling operations. However, the government's message is met with a sharp rebuttal from the opposition. The Conservatives have labeled Mahmood's warning as rich, coming from a government that has lost control of our borders. Chris Philp, the Shadow Home Secretary, has pointed to the current figures, stating, "The first 9 months of this year have been the worst in history for illegal immigrants crossing the Channel." He further outlined his party's proposed solution. The Conservatives would leave the ECHR, European Convention on Human Rights, which will enable us to remove all illegal immigrants within a week of arrival. Then the crossings would soon stop. This stark contrast in perspectives highlights the deep divisions and the escalating political stakes